A bit of a rough throat, but I am back and I am with you guys on Instagram Live, TikTok Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. It is so wonderful to be with you on this weekend morning. I hope your weekend is off to a fantastic freaking start. I hope you are so excited about the weekend ahead and, of course, the baseball action that we have ahead. It is a baseball Saturday, everybody, and Butt Fumble Sports could not be more excited for it. I know we're a few weeks away from fantasy football. I know we got the Olympics coming up in just a few weeks, but now is firmly baseball season. This is the dog days of the summer. For many of you, this is a barbecue Saturday. I hope you've got your grill material ready and you have your baseball radio, TV set, iPad, iPhone, whatever device you use, ready to go because we've got a lot of MLB action today. Actually doing something a little bit differently today. And that is, we have already put our picks up. So if you're curious about the picks that we are going with today, I've actually already put them up. They're already available. I actually kind of jumped right to this earlier today. I was doing my research and I figure I'm just going to get my picks all loaded up and ready to go. And that way, if you guys are curious, you guys can just have access to them. We're going to focus on your questions, the things you want me to research. But here are the picks that we have up on the board so far today. A quick recap for all those watching the show. Here are the picks that I've made already today prior to the show, okay? Here we go. We have Marlins and Reds. I'm taking under 10.5. Marlins and Reds under 10.5 for the Marlins and the Reds. That's where I'm going to come down on that one. I have the Royals plus 1.5. Royals plus 1.5. I have the Phillies on the money line. Phillies on the money line. Pirates on the money line. Pirates on the money line. Astros plus 1.5. Astros plus 1.5. And Rangers Astros over 7.5. Those are the 6 picks I've already put up on the board when it comes to game picks and total plays. I do have a bunch of player prop bets on the board. Here are some of my favorite hitters of the day. You guys know I usually put these out as over half a hit or over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Here are my favorite hitters based on the research I did prior to the show. My favorite hitters of the day: Brian Reynolds, Ian Happ, Gunnar Henderson, Jose Altuve. Phenomenal track record, Jose Altuve against Nathan Eovaldi. Jose Altuve owns him. He has 7 career home runs against Altuve. He's hitting 500 in about 20 plus at bats. So Jose Altuve, absolutely someone to keep your eye on. Another hitter who hits Nathan Eovaldi very well is Yordan Alvarez. Keep your eye on Yordan Alvarez. Other hitters we like today: Pete Alonso, MJ Melendez of the Kansas City Royals, Yandy Diaz of the Tampa Bay Rays, Jaime Candelario of the Cincinnati Reds, Dansby Swanson of the Chicago Cubs, Alec Burleson of the St. Louis Cardinals, Ty France of the Mariners, and Corbin Carroll of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Those are picks we've already put up on the board. Getting a fantasy football question in. Bryson over on TikTok have one, first pick, 4th overall, first pick, 5th overall in rookie draft in Dynasty Superflex. Should I go Daniels, May, or Daniels, Brock Bowers? Interesting that you're thinking of doubling up on the quarterbacks. I'm not really crazy about that. Frankly, as much as I've been impressed by Drake May, and I really have been, I think May has proven himself worthy of the 3rd overall pick. I probably lean towards Jaden Daniels and Brock Bowers. I think you're just going to get more production out of them overall. The Patriots offense has a lot of question marks. I think the Patriots are going to be a very run-heavy team. Even the Washington Commanders, they just acquired Austin Eckler. I think even though they may be a balanced offense, they're going to utilize the running game, the running backs in the passing game, I think more than the Patriots will. I think I'd probably go Daniels and Brock Bowers, thinking Brock Bowers is going to get involved early and often in that Raiders offense. You think he's got to be maybe the number 2, number 3 offense, at least in the passing game. So I lean slightly, I think, towards Daniels and Brock Bowers. Drake May could be value over future seasons, but for this year, Bryson, I'd go Daniels, I'd go Bowers. Based on the value this year, Jaden Daniels is going to start day 1. Not sure about Drake May on that. Brock Bowers is going to be producing week 1. I would go with Daniels and Bowers based off of that. Sean, I do have bets Bets are already up on my big board actually right now. If you're watching on YouTube, my picks are already on the big board. Got them out of the way. So Chase Green and others who are watching on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, you can see my screen. You know exactly what I've already done. Or you can jump on over to SHARPZ. SHARPZ is a sports betting app in which every bet that I make, regardless of the sportsbook I use, it automatically shows up on the SHARPZ app. So if you guys want to see every bet that's both on my big board as well as picks that I make on my own, just DM me on Instagram. Butt Sports is my handle on Instagram. That's two T's, Sports. DM me on Instagram. I'll hook you guys up with every pick I make every day for free. Am I a sports betting expert? No. Am I a sports betting do I make this my full-time career? No. My background's in sports content creation. I've worked at ESPN, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, and I was a producer for Jim Rome. So I love researching sports content, or I love researching sports betting information, fantasy sports information, putting together content that hopefully is very entertaining for you, the viewer. But I haven't been a sports betting expert. I have friends who are, and I've tried to learn from them, people I've worked with. But I do research, and we follow with the research, trends, data, matchups, weather, officiating, what all of that points to. That's what we put our picks towards every day. Pat Sox 26. You can find t-shirts just like this on our website. This is actually a Butt Fumble Sports original t-shirt. Go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. If you want to get t-shirts just like this, a little Jeff Bagwell action. If you want to get a t-shirt just like this, go on over to buttfumblesports.com and pick yours up today. Appreciate you guys being with us. Spencer Niles, Tyreek Hill, or CeeDee Lamb? Please explain. Okay, two things here. I think CeeDee Lamb was outstanding last year. I actually think he may regress a little bit this year. I think the Dallas Cowboys passing offense could regress overall. I have questions about the offensive line. I have questions about Dak Prescott. I actually think CeeDee Lamb performed incredibly well last year, so I'd actually go Tyreek Hill. I know Tyreek Hill was gunning for 2,000 total yards last year, and you go, Wyatt, don't you think he will regress? Probably less than CeeDee Lamb. If Tyreek Hill can stay healthy, I don't think there's anyone in the NFL who can cover him. CeeDee Lamb, I don't feel the same way, so Spencer Niles, between those two wide receivers, I'd go Tyreek Hill, and for me, it's not really a debate. I feel strongly about that one. User 6978, who was your hits today? Just missed it. Okay, let's do a recap. Here are the hitters. Here are the batters. Here are the hitters that I like today based on the matchup they have against the starting pitcher, the righty-lefty splits that they have so far this season, and a couple of other variables that I checked out. Here are my favorite hitters of the day, okay, everyone? Listen up, my favorite hitters of the day. We have Brian Reynolds of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Brian Reynolds of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Ian Happ of the Chicago Cubs. Ian Happ of the Chicago Cubs. Gunnar Henderson of the Baltimore Orioles. Gunnar Henderson of the Orioles. Two Astros that I absolutely love today. Two of my favorite hitters anywhere in baseball, both on the Astros. Jose Altuve, Yordan Alvarez. Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez have absolutely raked against Nathan Eovaldi historically, so look for those two today. I like Pete Alonso of the New York Mets. Pete Alonso of the Mets. MJ Melendez of the Kansas City Royals. That's Melendez on the Royals. I like Yandy Diaz of the Tampa Bay Rays. Yandy Diaz on the Rays. Jaime Candelario. Candelario on the Cincinnati Reds. Dansby Swanson of the Chicago Cubs. Dansby Swanson of the Chicago Cubs. Alec Burleson. Over half a hit for him. Alec Burleson of the St. Louis Cardinals. Ty France of the Seattle Mariners. Ty France of the Mariners. And Corbin Carroll of the Diamondbacks. One more that I actually like as well, though he didn't quite fit everything I looked at. Matt Olson. Keep your eye on Matt Olson as well. Another one we like. By the way, Navarro, I have all of my picks up on my screen right now. If you're watching on Instagram and TikTok, the algorithm prefers to see my face, so I don't share my screen. But if you jump on over to YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, if you go to Butt Fumble Sports on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, you can actually see every bet that's up on my board. When we do research during the show, you can actually see that live on my computer screen. So jump on over to YouTube if you want to get the full experience. Again, I give away my picks for free every day. They're never behind a paywall. I never hide them. I never delete them. I think you guys should have access to free picks every day. Where's the big board? Boss Lady Murr. Great to see you. One of my favorite followers and favorite contributors to the show. Boss Lady Murr, jump on over to YouTube. That's Butt Fumble Sports on YouTube. You can see my big board right there. Beller, do you like San Diego over the Braves? Yes, I do. Another hitter that I like in that game is Luis Arraez. If you could get Luis Arraez over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, very good history against Reynaldo Lopez, the starting pitcher of the Atlanta Braves. So another hitter I like. You won't get him at over half a hit, but over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, Luis Arraez. So Beller, 4088. Yes, I do like the Padres. Not on my big board. Don't have enough confidence on them. Probably because Reynaldo Lopez has been so good this year. But I do like the Padres, and I do like Luis Arraez. Let's actually dive into that game really quick. And I'm going to look at Reynaldo Lopez. First things first, I'm actually going to look at Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease on the mound for the San Diego Padres. They're only 4-5 in his starts this year. 4-5 on the run line. The over is 6-3. When Reynaldo Lopez is on the mound for the Braves, Reynaldo Lopez on the mound for the Braves, they are 4-3 straight up, 4-3 on the run line. The under is 5-1-1 when Lopez pitches on the road, 5-1-1 towards the under. The over is better when Dylan Cease pitches at home. So a bit of a split decision there. When Dylan Cease pitches at home against a team with a winning record. So far this year, under that scenario, Padres are 2-3 straight up, 2-3 on the run line. Over is 3-2. Reynaldo Lopez, when he's pitching after a Braves win on the road, the under 2-0. Again, you may want to consider the under on this game, under 8.5, but for the moment, I lean towards Padres plus 1.5. I don't have huge confidence in it. I will show you guys ballparkpal.com. Ballparkpal.com I use for some of our research every day. The numbers, the projection, the simulations are favoring the Padres. The fact you could get the Padres, some spots you can get them as an underdog. Most they're a favorite, but still, Padres are leaning towards the favorite side. Looking at the money on this game, 48% of the tickets are on the Padres to win. 94% of the money is on the Padres to win. I would take the Padres on the money line if I went in any direction. So Beller, I would go Padres on the money line, even though they didn't make my big board. Shrek, thoughts on the Red Sox today? Okay, here's a tricky one for the Red Sox. So, Red Sox coming off a tough loss yesterday. I know they've been red hot of late, but Cutter Crawford at home so far this year. Cutter Crawford has made just so far at home, has made 9 starts at home. The Red Sox are 2-7. The Red Sox are 2-7, both straight up and on the run line when Cutter Crawford pitches at home this year. Just 2 wins. Those 2 wins came against the Yankees and the Giants. When Cutter Crawford is pitching after a loss so far this year at home, Red Sox are 0-3 straight up, 0-3 on the run line, and the over is 3-0. When Cutter Crawford has pitched as a home favorite this year, Cutter Crawford as a home favorite, 1-5 straight up, 1-5 on the run line. The under's 4-2. But again, Red Sox just 1 win with Cutter Crawford on the mound at home as a favorite. They have just 1 win in 6 games. That's one of the reasons I really like the Royals plus 1.5. Royals plus 1.5. They also have Seth Lugo on the mound. When Seth Lugo has pitched on the road so far this year, the Royals are 8-2 straight up. So the Red Sox, 2-7 on the run line when Cutter Crawford pitches at home. The Royals, when Seth Lugo pitches on the road, are 8-2 straight up. I love the Royals on the run line. Royals plus 1.5. If you told me the Royals actually got the win, I would not be shocked. But Royals plus 1.5 did make my big board. So Shrek, Fading the Red Sox a bit today. I like the Royals to cover. I mentioned this earlier, one of the hitters I really like today, MJ Melendez. MJ Melendez of the Kansas City Royals. Good stats against Cutter Crawford in his career. Let me actually show you this game using Outlier. We're going to jump on over. There are a couple of Royals who hit Cutter Crawford well. Adam Frazier, 1 for 3. Garcia, 1 for 3. Massey, 2 for 2. And Melendez is 2 for 4. That includes a home run, 4 RBIs. Meanwhile, against Seth Lugo, Dom Smith, 0 for 2. Tyler O'Neill, 0 for 5. So the Red Sox a combined 0 for 7 lifetime against Seth Lugo. I know a small sample size, but meanwhile, on the other side, against Cutter Crawford, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 players who are hitting 300 or better. I know, again, small sample size, but I think the Royals plus 1.5 is a bet worth making today. Appreciate you guys being with us and watching the show. Hope you guys are loving the content. Ricky, great to have you with us. Hope you're having a great day. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, feel free to write your questions or comments in the chat. We'll answer all of them as well. Chase Green, could you break down the Reds and Marlins game? No problem. Let's look at that Reds and Marlins game. Reds and Marlins, that is a 4:10 first pitch. First of all, 89% of tickets on Reds to win, 90% of the money on the Reds to win. Similar story on the spread, 98% on Reds minus 1.5, 99% of the money on Reds minus 1.5. 85% of the tickets are on the over, 88% are on of the money is on the over. Here's the interesting one for me about this one today. So Andrew Abbott is on the mound for the Cincinnati Reds. When the Reds have had him on the mound so far this year at home, regardless of whether being a favorite or being an underdog, when Andrew Abbott has pitched at home this year, the under is 7-0. You heard that correct. The under is undefeated when Andrew Abbott pitches at home this year. The under, 7-0-1. 7-0-1. By the way, the total for this game is set at 9 runs. When he pitches at home, the average total is about 9. And the under, again, is 7-0-1. So that's one of the reasons I love the under. Now, flipping it around, Edward Cabrera, when he has pitched on the road so far this year for the Marlins, only 2 starts and the over did hit in both of them, but one of them was 10 runs, one of them was 9 runs. That's one of the reasons I'm going Marlins and Reds under 10.5. Marlins and Reds under 10.5. Andrew Abbott hasn't gone over 10.5 runs in any game he started at home this year. And Edward Cabrera, he's made 2 starts on the road. One was a 10-run game, one was a 9-run game. So I'm going to live at that under 10.5. You can get under 10.5 right now at minus 160. So under 10.5 is minus 160 right now. I think that's a very strong play. Under 10.5 for the Marlins and the Reds. Now, if we look at the game overall, when Andrew Abbott has pitched at home this year, the Reds are 5-3 straight up, 4-4 on the run line when they are a home favorite so far this year with Andrew Abbott on the mound. 2-2 straight up, only 1-3 on the run line. Again, the under is 4-0. Flipping it around, let's take a look at how the Marlins have done. The Marlins, as a road dog so far this year, 14-31. They've actually lost their last 5 games as a road dog. When they play in a day game as a road dog this year, 8-9 straight up, 9-8 on the run line. Kind of interesting there. How about when they are coming off a loss in the previous game? 12-17 straight up, 15-14 on the run line. How about when they've lost on the road in the previous game? 11-15 straight up, 14-12 on the run line. Let's look at it from the Reds' point of view. Reds as a home favorite so far this year, 18-19 straight up, only 15-22 on the run line when they've been a home favorite against a team with a losing record so far this year. 12-11 straight up, 10-13 on the run line. They've actually won 4 of their last 5. The over has hit in 4 straight games under this scenario. Again, I don't have issue with, I'm not worried about the over-under. I'm taking the under firmly with Andrew Abbott on the mound. I lean towards Reds on the money line. It's not my favorite play from this game. Taking the under 10.5 is what I like the most, but you could certainly consider Reds on the money line. I don't think the Marlins get the win today. Hope you're all having a wonderful Saturday wherever you are. Josh, any Phillies player prop bets you would recommend? Not today. Not today. And here's the reason why. I'm going to show you exactly why I don't have any players for that game. So, interesting actually. Tyler Phillips, no history against the Oakland Athletics. Mitch Spence, no history against the Philadelphia Phillies. When I find a player prop bet, usually my process is I want to see how the hitters have done against the starting pitcher. Then how I look at how they've done against the righty-lefty split of the starting pitcher. Then I look at how they've done overall over their last 10, 20 games on the road, at home, against certain opponents. The problem is this game lacking in data. Mitch Spence, no history against the Phillies. On the other side, Tyler Phillips, no history against the A's. If I had to go in any direction in terms of player prop bets for this game, Brent Rooker against right-handed pitching has been scorching hot. He has a hit in 8 of his last 10 games against a right-handed starter, 7 of his last 10. On the road against a right-handed starter, 7 of his last 10. Against the Phillies overall, back-to-back games. Keep your eye on Brent Rooker, but that's just one. On the Philly side of things, Brandon Marsh over half a hit. He doesn't have a hit in his last 3 games against the Oakland Athletics, which is kind of interesting. But his last 10 games, he has a hit in 6 of his last 10 against a right-handed starter, 6 of his last 10 against a right-handed starter at home, 8 of his last 10. So keep your eye on Brandon Marsh. Brandon Marsh over half a hit would be somebody that I would consider. Brandon Marsh over half a hit against right-handed pitching. He's hitting .302 on the year. Now, Trey Turner, you're not going to get him at over half a hit most likely unless you're betting on FanDuel. By the way, on the other side of it, Brandon Marsh, you could get him over half a hit on FanDuel, Caesars, DraftKings, and BetMGM. That's why Brandon Marsh is a better play. So if you're looking for a player prop bet in this Phillies game, Brandon Marsh over half a hit would be someone I'd consider. Bryce Harper over half a hit, not available. Over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Has missed in 5 straight games against a right-handed pitcher at home. It has hit in 6 of the last 10, but it's at 2.5. Brandon Marsh over half a hit would probably be my favorite one for this A's-Phillies game, despite the lack of data overall around the hitters. Do we like Shohei? Do we think Shohei Ohtani is hitting a homer today against Detroit? Well, similar story here. Lack of data for this game because the starting pitchers don't have history against the hitters they're facing. Ohtani has never faced Kiter Montero before. Against right-handed pitching this year, he does have 21 home runs. Looking at Ohtani, his last home run came about a week ago. He hasn't had a home run since the 6th against the Milwaukee Brewers. On the road, actually, he hasn't had a home run since June 29th, so about 2 weeks since Ohtani's last home run on the road. Kind of an interesting slump here. So far this year, this is the second longest drought he's had without a home run. The first one came back in late April, early May. Kind of interesting. The end of a month or beginning of a month is usually when he kind of struggles. The middle of a month is when he tends to get hot. I don't think it's a terrible play. Shohei Ohtani, he has only gone 6 games without a home run on the road once this year. That would be, if he doesn't hit a home run today, that would match that. Not a terrible idea. I have nothing to really back it. Montero, limited data around him, no history against the Dodgers. But it's not a terrible idea. If I'm just going based on the trends, Ohtani only once this year has played 6 straight road games without hitting a home run. He's currently on a 5 road game drought when it comes to home runs. So whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, not a terrible idea to actually just put maybe a half unit down, maybe 1 unit down on a Ohtani home run. Not a terrible thought, actually. If you guys want every bet I make every day for free, you can just DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. I give away my picks every day for free. They're never behind a paywall. I never hide them. I never delete them. I always make them accessible because my attitude is you guys work hard for your money. You shouldn't be paying me for my picks. You should be putting that money towards the entertainment of sports betting or fantasy sports. So I give away my picks for free once I do my research. If you want every bet I make, just DM me on Instagram. I give them away every day for free. I never charge for them. They're never deleted. The way I give them out for free is they're automatically posted on the SHARPZ app. The way SHARPZ works is when I place a bet on FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, doesn't matter the sports book. When I place a bet, that ticket automatically shows up on SHARPZ. It's like a bulletin board for my picks. Every pick is posted, so I can't hide it. I can't delete it. It automatically shows up. So if I make bets, you'll find them every day on the SHARPZ app. All you need to do is DM me on Instagram. I give those away for free every day. Chase, what about Guardians and Rays game? I'm not betting that one. I looked at the data, and it was kind of a coin flip. I'd probably lean slightly, I think, towards the Guardians, but not enough confidence for me to put it on the big board or really believe in it. So Chase, I'm avoiding that one for the most part. I do like Yandy Diaz today for over half a hit, but beyond that, not big on it. Kyle Klein, who do you like to win in the Major League Baseball All-Star Game? Okay, couple thoughts here. For the MLB All-Star Game, take the under. The under has become a very, very good trend over the last 10, 12, 15 All-Star games. The reason for that, velocity has gone up. Pitchers are usually going about 1 inning in the All-Star game, so we're seeing a pitcher go 1 inning, throw an average of about 98, 97 miles per hour in that 1 inning. Very, very hard for runs to be scored. So for the MLB All-Star game, take the under, take under 8.5, take under 9, under 9.5 if you can get it at a good value. But for the MLB All-Star game coming up, I believe on Tuesday, I think it's Tuesday, take the under in the All-Star game. Kyle, if I had to bet on a team, I would take the American League. The American League has really owned the All-Star game again over the last 10, 12, 15 years. The AL has been far better. Now, I understand that we're all excited about Paul Skeens starting for the National League, but frankly, I still think that the AL has the better overall lineup, so I take the American League to win, and I would take the under. Kyle, American League and the under. Kyle Hart, Ozuna about to dominate the home run derby. I am biased on this one, so don't listen to me. Well, what's interesting is, if you base it off the trends and the history, it's Pete Alonso who's the favorite, but that's on the old format. For those that are new, they've updated the home run derby format. It's not that, 3 minutes of just, non-stop swings. We've gone back to, there's, a time limit combined with a number of swings or outs. So you have to kind of pace yourself. You have to hit home runs. You can't have a lot of misses, where before you could have some misses and then go on a run and still win your round. So I'm kind of curious about how the home run derby process is going to go. One player I'd keep my eye on, obviously, is Adolis Garcia, the Texas Ranger, who's going to be playing in his home stadium. I do think there's an advantage playing in your home stadium, unless you're sometimes you see a hitter who's not a true home run hitter, but they put him in the home run derby because it's his home ballpark. I don't have those worries about Garcia, but that batter's eye, he's comfortable with it. He hits batting practice there every home game. So I really like Adolis Garcia. I don't think Ozuna is a bad pick, but I'd probably go Pete Alonso or Adolis Garcia as the two that I'd really go in on. Diego, should the Dodgers bring back Trevor Bauer? Bauer said he'll return on a minimum contract. So Trevor Bauer is one of the most perplexing cases in sports right now. For those that aren't aware, Trevor Bauer, who was, you could argue, one of the best pitchers in baseball prior to his suspension or his legal issues, he was accused of rape or sexual assault by a woman who has now been found to be a liar. The evidence has come out that she totally made up the story and that Trevor Bauer actually is innocent. This is one of those rare cases in which the woman was absolutely lying and trying to rob him of money and fame and his career. He has been pitching he pitched in Japan, now he's pitching in Mexico. What's my take on Trevor Bauer? I think he deserves to be back in Major League Baseball, but this is a lesson for everybody out there. When people think you're an asshole, they will look for ways to keep you out of something. So even though Trevor Bauer is innocent, his innocence has been proven, there's a lot of reason to believe that Major League Baseball doesn't like him. One of the reasons they don't like him, it actually dates back when he was at UCLA. He did a lot of things that were kind of contrary to what Major League scouts, coaches, the establishment thought about training and building up arm strength if you're a pitcher. Trevor Bauer did a lot of kind of wacky workouts. He had a different thought process on how to develop speed, how to become a more complete pitcher. It kind of went contrary to what Major League Baseball establishment was thinking, and it created a huge tension. And a lot of people in baseball hated Bauer for that. He spoke out. He was kind of outlandish. He was a hothead. He was arrogant. There were a lot of people who didn't like his antics, didn't like his approach to training. And I think a lot of people were looking for a reason to kind of kick him out or to push him to the side. And this court case, this legal issue, became that perfect piece of evidence or the perfect justification for it. I think baseball needs to get over that. I think Trevor Bauer has proven his talent. He's proven his innocence. He's also proven he's deserving of being a Major League Baseball pitcher, both historically and how he's performing right now. I think Trevor Bauer deserves to be in baseball. I don't know why he's being blackballed like he is. I don't think it's a Colin Kaepernick situation. I don't think this is a protest that, like, we don't need to get out of hand. But this is one in which a player who was accused of something has been proven innocent. He deserves an opportunity to come back into the game. I'm surprised no one's given him that opportunity, especially like a small market team that could use him, like a Kansas City Royals, like a Tampa Bay Rays, like a Toronto Blue Jays, a team that needs starting pitching, that could obviously just pay him a league minimum and add him to the starting rotation. I think there are a number of teams that should do that. I don't think the Dodgers should do that, actually. And here's the reason why. The Los Angeles Dodgers play in LA. That is still a very liberal city. There are a lot of people who would make a stink over Trevor Bauer. And given the resources that the Dodgers have, they can go get starting pitching in other ways. The reason I think Trevor Bauer makes sense for a small market team is, one, the media spotlight would be less on him because of playing in Kansas City or playing in Tampa or playing in other places like that, would maybe be a little bit less heat. Additionally, I also think that the league minimum would make sense for those teams that are trying to budget based off of the return they're getting and not based on his past performance or his previous contracts. So that's what would make sense to me, but right now I definitely think that this is a bizarre situation. I think he deserves to be back in the league, but this is a fight that's going to be ongoing far beyond anything that had to do with his legal issues. One last note, there's a famous beef between him and Garrett Cole back at UCLA. Garrett Cole absolutely hated him and thought he was an asshole, thought he did everything to kind of be the contrarian to the way things should be done. I think Garrett Cole is absolutely a microcosm of the rest of Major League Baseball in that I don't think Major League Baseball likes Trevor Bauer, and I think that's the real issue now. Peter, going to the Fantasy Football Expo this year. I don't go to any expos, but that said, we will be doing a lot of fantasy football conversation. You guys know we focus on fantasy football almost every single day once we get into the draft season, which is about really a week and a half away. We're not that far away from fantasy football season. The real Franklin G, the Yankees should try. No, I disagree. Again, Dodgers, Yankees, these are two mega markets. Those are two of the largest media markets, not just in the country, but in the world. I absolutely wouldn't sign Trevor Bauer if I'm the Yankees or the Dodgers. The return on the investment isn't worth it in terms of the headache. A Kansas City Royals makes a lot of sense. A Tampa Bay Rays, it makes a lot of sense. The Yankees and the Dodgers, it really doesn't. The headache it would cause from a PR perspective really isn't worth the production you would get for them. So I disagree with that. Jay, can you go over the O's game? Yeah, sure. We could talk about the Orioles game. So for this one, we're going to look at how the market's coming down on Orioles and Yankees. By the way, my picks are already up on the board. Right now, Yankees are the underdog, money favoring the Orioles just slightly. Orioles are on a bit of a losing streak. They've struggled of late. Orioles when they are a home favorite coming off a home favorite loss so far this year. 11-5 straight up. They've actually lost their last 2 games under this scenario. Oh, they were a dog yesterday. Sorry. Home loss. Home favorite after a home loss. 11-6 straight up. 11-6 straight up. When they face a right-handed starter in those games, they're 7-1. Hear this again. The Baltimore Orioles, when they're a home favorite facing a right-handed starting pitcher, the game after a home loss, they are 7-1 straight up. They are 7-1 on the run line. Grayson Rodriguez has pitched in 3 of those 8 games. They've won all 3 of them. They've covered in all 3 of them. Orioles on the money line. Orioles minus 1.5, everybody. Orioles on the money line. Orioles minus 1.5. Keep your eye on that based on this trend. Again, that's when the Orioles are a home favorite facing an opposing pitcher who's a right-handed pitcher after a home loss. They are 7-1 straight up, 7-1 on the run line. Let's take a look at the starting pitcher for the Yankees. It's Luis Gil. When Gil has pitched on the road so far this year, the Yankees are 5-3 straight up, 4-4 on the run line. The under slightly better. When he is pitching after a Yankee win under that scenario, only once they did get a win. Kind of interesting. He's only pitched on the road after a Yankee win 1 time this year. Kind of surprising there. When he pitches as a road dog this year, Luis Gil as a road dog, 1-1 straight up. The under is 2-0. Let's flip it around. Let's look at Grayson Rodriguez. Grayson Rodriguez, when he has pitched at home so far this year, Orioles are 5-2 straight up, 5-2 on the run line. When he pitches after a loss at home, 3-0 straight up. So again, I like the Orioles on the money line. Orioles on the money line's where I'm coming down. Antonio, how do you feel about the Phillies game? I'm not actually going to bet that game heavily. I do like the Phillies on the money line. Phillies on the money line's where I came down on this one. The reason for that, when the Phillies are coming off a home loss, they are 11-2 straight up. Phillies, the game after a home loss, they are 11-2 straight up. So I do have the Phillies on the money line. Antonio, Phillies on the money line. Appreciate you guys being with me. Hope you guys are loving the content, loving the show. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time we go live. I am so grateful that you guys take time out of your day to watch the show. Forgive me for not being on for a couple days. I had kind of a sore throat. Did not feel like I could go a full hour of broadcasting and without losing my voice or sounding like, a heavy smoker, which I'm not since I don't smoke. So I was off for a couple days. Appreciate you guys being patient, being loyal, and coming back on and joining me today. If you guys want to see every bet I make every day, DM me on Instagram. Butt Sports is my handle on Instagram. DM me on Instagram. I give away my picks for free every day. They're never behind a paywall. They're never deleted. They're never hidden. So if you want to see every pick, I give them away for free. Just DM me on Instagram. I'll hook you up with a link and referral code for the SHARPZ app. Again, doesn't require payment. Doesn't require anything from your end other than to download the app and to look up my profile. You'll find my picks every day. By the way, if you guys do care about fantasy football conversation, I know I said we're about a week and a half away from drafts getting started, but for those that are already looking into that, join us. We're here for you. King, I'm past the point of getting some snow. I've got, I don't know if you're talking about the dandruff, if you're talking about the gray hairs. The gray hairs are coming in, the dandruff's always been there. Dry scalp is real, everybody. But that said, King, no, the gray hairs are coming in, but I don't mind it. I've like, a lot of people are like, you should do Just for Men, and I'm like, why? Why do I care about my hair going gray? Don't worry, buddy. Don't worry. The ladies love it. I have no problem with it. I actually think it looks fine. But yeah, the brown hairs are going away. The gray hairs are coming on. Appreciate you guys being with us. Whatever you guys want to talk about, whether it's the gray hairs, fantasy football, baseball bets for today, or anything else that catches your attention, Butt Sports is here for you. We're a sports content company devoted to everything the fan. Butt Fumble Sports, where the fan is never number 2. Yeah, that is a poop joke. If you guys love the content and the conversation, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, make sure you're with us every time we're live. Za King, salt and pepper, look good on you. Appreciate that. Darius, 3 most confident money lines for me today. I'd say Phillies, I'd say Pirates, and then I'd probably go, no, I don't feel like the Orioles. Here's what's tricky. I really like the Astros on the money line. The Astros have dominated Nathan Eovaldi. Dominated. Additionally, I like the Royals. Royals on the money line. Astros on the money line are 2 underdogs I actually really like today. But I think the Phillies and the Pirates are probably the 2 safest money line plays. I'd keep my eye on the Reds as well. Reds, Royals, Phillies, Pirates, and Astros. Add the Orioles in there. Those are probably my favorites. Tyler, any Royals bets? Royals plus 1.5. I love the Royals to cover plus 1.5. I also like MJ Melendez. MJ Melendez over half a hit. MJ Melendez over half a hit. It's another bet I like for the Royals today, Tyler. Appreciate you guys joining us. We are going to sign off in just a moment. We are going to be live tomorrow morning. So make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you DM me if you want any bets that you missed today. DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram to get every bet that I make every single day. Butt Fumble Sports. Za King. Okay, here's a pick for you. Again, here's a plus money bet that I did today, okay? I took the Marlins and the Reds under 10.5. Marlins, Reds under 10.5. And I took the Rangers and the Astros over 6.5. Rangers, Astros over 6.5. Marlins and Reds under 10.5. I put that into a 2-leg parlay. I have that in a number of my bets. If you missed Carlos C., if you missed any of my picks, DM me on Instagram. I'll give them away for free. You don't have to worry about it. And you can find them every single day. Once you DM me on Instagram, you'll get every bet I make every day for free. No worries about it. JP, we will be betting college football this year, so don't stress it. We got you. Appreciate you guys being with us. DM me on Instagram if you want every bet. Every bet, they're free. Just DM Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. That's Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. DM me right now. I'll hook you up with every bet. That way you don't have to stress about missing the ones I mentioned during the show or anything like that. I'll catch you guys at 11 a.m. tomorrow, everybody. 11 a.m. show. 11 a.m. show tomorrow morning. So make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you're with us as we are live at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe. Hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Goodbye, everybody.